Hey there to my gorgeous soul tribe. It's Chloe here from Constellate, and I can't wait to share these crown chakra messages today. I'm so in love with the crown chakra, as this is our connection to all things angelic, to divine downloads, to compassion and love, and those kinds of traits that just give you that warm feeling. I like to think of music festivals as well as something that really does activate the crown chakra, all being in unity, singing together, and so that vibe of just togetherness and harmony is what the crown chakra really aims for. So the timestamps are in the description as always. All you need to do is click the timestamp that is linked in the description to watch your pal. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I make tarot readings here on YouTube, as well as host Luna, which is such an empowered space. Definitely check out the link in the description if you are looking for spiritual mentorship, moon magic, and learning so much about your life path, activating your inner goddess, and also learning about how to create the laws of your own universe. Over here, we're all about expansion, self-actualization, and generally just spreading good vibes. So if that sounds like something that you're into, be sure to subscribe so that you get updated whenever I post. So perfect. If you could now take 3 deep breaths in, and let's connect with your energy. Okay. And out. In. And out. In and out. Amazing. So you can even ask Archangel Michael for some support in helping to choose a pal if you're feeling a little bit clouded and you don't know which to choose, because I am going to be channeling him in this reading. So we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Love you. Hey to everyone that chose pile number 1. Firstly, we have the card mirror, which asks who or what is triggering you. So when it comes to the crown chakra, this talks about the fact that we are all connected, we are all related to each other. So there may be a situation in your life where someone is currently really triggering you, and they're making you feel a certain way, let's say. And it may be the case that you have made them feel that way too. It's just that you don't necessarily realize that. And so I feel like your souls have really gravitated towards each other because perhaps you have a lesson that you need to learn with this person. So if you're making them feel that way too, it may be really useful to think about that. So with this person, there may be some soul growth lessons that you are being required to make in terms of understanding that what this person does and that you don't like, you've done to them and maybe even to others in the past. And so being able to, I feel like when you reject them, you reject yourself. And so it's just really important to realize that. Because there may be some lessons coming up for you that require you to not reject yourself, and maybe they, for instance, have something that you are aligning to, and if you were to align to it, you would just meet people who would say on the same vibration as you currently are. And so whether this is a relationship or or a business role model, or a member in your family, whatever role you're playing in this person's life, I feel like in the future you may not want other people to play that role in your life. And so let's just dive a little bit into it. That might be a side message, or it may come out even more in the reading, so let's see what's up. Okay, first off, we have the 8 of Autumn, the Queen of Spring, the 8 of Winter, the 3 of Summer, and the 6 of Spring. So with your crown chakra, I feel like you really connect to your crown chakra when it comes to education, such as large organizations, or just a feeling of there being lots of you in a group. I feel like that really makes you feel at one and at peace, and it makes you feel like a member of society, like a person. And to talk more about this, I'm seeing that you might be a person who has a tendency towards working in larger organizations, so such as working in large companies or, like I say, in schools. But at the same time, with your crown chakra, you may feel like you have tapped into it, like you have an understanding of it, but then at the same time you feel super blocked from it, and like there's so much you need to learn. It may be the thing that you feel like you finally understand it, and then you're like, fuck, I know nothing, Jon Snow. Anyway, but yeah, that might be something that you're dealing with, where you are tapping into it more and more, and you may feel like a student of this thing, but then you might feel like you have a community around you who are also students of this thing. So it's not so isolated, but you may feel like you're not really where you want to be when it comes to connecting with your crown chakra, strangely enough, like you're studying it. But then at the same time, the fact that you even know what your crown chakra is means that you've been a student for a while. You know, you wouldn't be on this reading if you kind of weren't with the shits, because, you know, I didn't know what the crown chakra was most of my life. So if you don't know what the crown chakra is, this is kind of where our consciousness, which is our brain, meets the universe. It is responsible for spiritual growth, stepping into the 5D, feeling blissful unity with the universe and harmony with all things. For that reason, it's associated with feelings of gratitude. So this may be one of the reasons why you're striving towards your crown chakra, because you want to achieve this blissful unity. Maybe you don't feel at peace or at home in the 3D world and you're wanting to connect more with the 5D. But again, I feel like maybe this time you're breathing life into your 3D world more than your 5D world, but you are studying into the 5D. Next up, we have the Queen of Spring. So I'm sensing that you guys may have fire energies. But this card, and so with your crown chakra, I'm sensing that you are highly connected with organizations. You do very well in organizations. Maybe you like to rise up the ranks in organizations, different things like this. And I think that you also have seen a lot of miracles happen in your life, which is why maybe you're on this journey of studying into your crown chakra. I feel like you feel like your crown chakra energy, such as your angels and your spirit guides, make themselves accessible to you once in the blue moon, when in reality it's that they can always be accessible to you, but you are maybe closing yourself off to them. But I think that, you know, even knowing that they're there gives you this incredible belief in yourself, and this mindset that helps you to easily align to what it is that you're calling in. I think the Queen of Spring also connects you with really supportive opportunities. So yeah, you're manifesting all these really, really radiant opportunities, people around you who want to help you. And yeah, I think your crown chakra does also allow you to stay really connected with people, let's say. I'd say you have a really good network of organizations around you that want to help you, all of these things. And I think you naturally just trust that organizations are a good thing, because you see a group of people and you're like, that's a good thing because it's an organization. That means that there's people in there. That means that I'm safe there because I know that I'm supported. Whereas other people may think, oh my god, there's an organization, that means I have to run the other way because they're going to have these rules and things that they want me to follow. I think you quite like that, having rules to follow and being supported by an organization, and that is because your crown chakra is really active in that way. Next up, we have the Eight of Winter, which maybe says that you may not really believe in your own light right now because you feel disconnected from the 5D, you feel disconnected from your guides. You're not seeing your own light. You're seeing it as something that's far, far away from you. But this card is guiding you to really believe in yourself and the strength of your own power, because you think that you're powerless and that this power is all in the 5D. It's all in your crown chakra, and it's like, it's not, it's just maybe your third eye or your throat chakra or even your heart chakra are a little bit blocked. So this energy can't get to your solar plexus from your crown chakra, even though it has the desire to. If it can travel from your crown to your solar plexus, that's an empowering place for you to be, because then you can use the same magic that your spirit guide shows you to create magic in your own life. So I mean, that is in Apana, that's not pranic energy flow. So this is talking about, you know, maybe allowing yourself to submerge a bit more into the present moment and not feeling like you have to move around so much, and maybe you feel a bit restless. I think it's just submitting into that feeling and letting yourself create from that place, not feeling like you have to be responsible to someone else or to do something else or anything. Just feel like you can be in your own space. And I'm going to be saying some light language really quickly, just to really cement that bridge between your crown chakra and your solar plexus, so you can just close your eyes and receive this light language. Ambarawinki alakazukoshangrunbo forokinsha Arusunko undaka ujukundo kirinta oshinkira Shuraka awenda sinkara sinki sisi. Seeing your energy just wants to travel upwards. You don't want to stay still. You want to always be moving, always be doing something. Just allowing that energy to settle into the lower chakras. Amaroshikawandaka owet singarasikawishindawisindawidiba Uregiata Kauro Shikinda Krisinki Awishinka Sinka Ao Koroshinda Uro Kombaro Sinka Awake Ishiki Uro Konzaka Jingenda Kombrasunto Runsa would check Awzakit Sika Owinda Ilambake Shikita Awishika I don't go Shikito Siki Broshikita Sikandake Roshka Awan Kitsika Amazing. So moving in, maybe watch the solar plexus messages on my YouTube channel, because I feel like your solar plexus and your crown chakra are connected. You feel like your power is the power of the universe is only in your guides. If good things happen to you, it's because of your guides, and it's like you actually have a lot of power, but you give it all away to the feeling that, you know, or either organizations or your guides are powerful. And I think that's your connection to God as well, because organizations have been God for you. Maybe they've made really important decisions about your lives or the lives of your family, so organizations seem like they're such an important part of your life, and if you didn't have them, maybe you don't know where you would be, that kind of thing. Next up we have the 3 of Summer. So this speaks about news worth celebrating. So I'm thinking this is talking about how you can begin to open your crown chakra. So I think this is talking about maybe celebrating with friends, you know, working together with friends to show yourselves what you can achieve. Maybe you don't believe in yourself right now, but working with friends may give you an opportunity to believe a little bit more in yourself. Really, friends that you really cherish. I'm seeing maybe a group of 3 of you making some magic together or making something happen. Like, say that there was a project you wanted to do for a while, maybe working with friends to get this done can give you confidence in yourself outside of like an organization, but more in terms of like who you are and who you surround yourself with. That can really help to empower you moving forwards, especially if you guys have like different talents and unique ideas and unique flows. Bringing those together, you could really work a lot of magic with your friends, especially if you are wanting to create something that is heavenly. You know, if you love the power of your spirit guides and you wish other people to experience the power of their guides or the power of the universe, then really connecting with a powerful group of women, especially I'm seeing for this power, but it doesn't have to be, could be a really good way for you to achieve this. And lastly, we have the 6th of Spring, which speaks about wonderful news being on its way. So it speaks about smart choices that bring rewards and success and public recognition. So I'm sensing that you guys do have a really like angelic, maybe like fairy like spirit. So you might be existing primarily in the 4th dimension, which is somewhere where you're able to create things that are non-human, but maybe you don't fully recognize your own power and the power of creation and the divinity within yourself as well. With the 6th of Spring, these cards both talk about news coming through. So maybe this is I think you're needing to share your worth a little bit more with people. With news, like I'm seeing energy going from one place to another. So say you're doing something, letting people in your circle know what you're doing, or say that, you know, you've reached a milestone, like celebrate with other people. It could be the reverse as well. If people are going through good things in your life, really just give them a lot of good energy and celebrate them, because I think this will help you to create that supportive network like we're talking about. I think your crown chakra journey is about recreating that network, but in your own life, rather than needing an organization to have established that already. So say there's an organization that you really like because they, let's say, can help you with your housing situation and help you find your dream house. Maybe there's a way that you and your friends can do that together without needing this housing organization, let's say. And it may even be better energy, who knows. But in general, I think this is saying that in order to begin to, I'm seeing there's a lot of success as well and celebration with you guys. I think you just need to be celebrated, and you need to be comfortable celebrating yourself, not because of the organization you're part of or the job that you have, but just because of who you are at your core. And when you really do this solar plexus work, and allow energy to travel from your crown to your solar, then I think you'll notice a lot of really positive impacts in your life. But this is only a short reading. And again, we have this mirror card here which asks who or what is triggering you. So again, I don't know your situation in particular, but let me just pull one card actually to some clarity. So we have the Lovers here and the Hermit here. So you might be in separation from a person that you care about. Okay, and back of the deck energy, we have the Seven of Swords energy. So they were your friends, maybe someone that you really, really cared about, someone that you really, really, really loved. And I'm seeing a lot of like diverse backgrounds. So maybe you've got friends with like different ethnicities or cultures and different things like that. Okay, but I'm sensing a lot of feminine energy from the people watching this power, at least. Maybe you guys are in separation, and again, you're being triggered by what they're doing. So not to say that you're doing it necessarily to them this very moment, but maybe you have done it to them in the past. Okay, not only that, but maybe you also do what they're doing to other people, whether it's friends or lovers, you know. So if they're ghosting you, maybe you ghost your friends. It's that kind of thing. Okay, and so I think your next stage of life, because I do see that you find a lot of comfort in networks and stuff like that, but you might be forming your own network. So not a massive multi-international company, but a network of people who you can create power when energy flows along your network. I see that that's what you're creating, but you may be in separation from this person right now and being a bit defensive and feeling like you don't know what you did wrong and you don't see it and all of those things. So maybe that's why that mirroring card is coming out, to ask how you're triggered and who's triggering you and what is it reflecting in you. Because I think that you're a soul who strongly mirrors people in general as well. And so it can be frustrating to see yourself mirrored in someone else and not like it. But then that's just accepting another part of yourself, which is accepting another part of the universe as well. Okay, those are all the messages I have for you guys. I love you so much and hope that you have a beautiful day. So, hey there to everyone that chose pile number 2. The first card that we have for you says to share your voice. Come out of the cave. It speaks about persecution and expression. So I think that this pile feels like they don't fit in, and that's how their crown chakra is expressing, because they feel so different and so unique, not realizing that their uniqueness is part of what is the human experience, for everyone to be a bit different but fundamentally the same. It's just like you're never going to find two leaves with exactly the same structure, but you will look at them and you'll be like, oh, that's a leaf, that's also a leaf. Do you know what I mean? But you might be feeling like, oh my god, there's not a leaf like me, I'm different from all the other leaves judge me. And maybe you are different, but that isn't a flaw. I think that you have a really beautiful artistic consciousness, but there may be part of you that feels very fragile. Okay, you might feel like, oh, like you can't put yourself out there in the world because you're too delicate to touch, and then once people touch you, you feel like you might break. And I think you do need to give yourself a little bit more credit, because you won't break. But I do also sense that you are very scared of stepping outside of your structure, out of your comfort zone, because that's where you know that you have a good foundation. And I think you have a fear of breaking somehow, a fear of cracking, like a fear of leaving your shell and being broken. So with the share your voice card, I think this is just encouraging you to come out of your cave and trust that, like, maybe you don't really feel like you've activated your powers yet, but that's not true. They're within you already. They're just waiting to flow out of you. And I think that you sharing particularly your insights and your downloads is really beneficial. With this persecuted card as well, your crown chakra may be connecting you with your past lives and, you know, other versions of your soul that have walked and lived. I mean, that is most connected with your soul star chakra, but I think you have had some powerful past lives that leave residue in your crown chakra and relate to your feelings of being accepted or being part of the community as well. I do sense that you do form a community when you find people who really resonate with your frequency. So it's not that you struggle to find a community, but you feel like out in the world that you might just shatter or break. Okay. So we have the Sun of Pentacles here, the first card. The Three of Swords. Mother of Swords. You guys might be poets of some kind. The Chariot. And the Magician. Ooh, I'm loving this so much. This Magician is confirming what I spoke about in terms of being open and comfortable with our energy being expressed. So with the Sun of Pentacles, I am sensing that you guys are really hardworking, diligent, stable. Maybe you feel like you're able to express your crown chakra through your career as well. So people may find you really interesting. I feel like that's your vibe. Like people see you and they're like, ooh, interesting. And I feel like your crown chakra is something that's always been open and is always open. You've always seen the world from a different perspective. People might actually give you like weird looks when you say certain things, and that has shamed you into not wanting to express your truth anymore, when it's like in reality these people wish they had an open crown chakra, but they don't even know what that means. So growing up, let's say, you saying, oh my god, I see this thing, I see this person talking to me, people would have been like, do you want to be grounded? Do you want, do you want to have your rights taken away from you in some way? Like maybe people told you it was like bad. Maybe you came from a background where it just wasn't spoken about, that kind of thing. And so now you've got this shame that comes with sharing your voice. You've got this guilt as well. And this persecution comes from past lives. But I think that you connecting with, like, for instance, you're a very generous person who likes to share wisdom, share information, share memories, and just be part of a community. I can see that you're like a spirit sister kind of vibe. At the same time, you feel like this has been shamed out of you, and you now feel like you have a responsibility to allow others who have been shamed out of their crown chakra to find a pathway in that's gentle and relaxing and that doesn't cause them harm as well. So with the Three of Swords, you might be a person who is really connected with pain, for instance. So you might be able to really empathize with animals who are in pain, or people who are hurting as well. I do sense that you are very humanitarian. You might get a little bit scared of other people's pain though. So if you hear someone talking about something that's painful for them, you might get this desire to hold them and help them, but you might also be like, I'm so scared, and maybe even disgusted by this pain that they're experiencing. Maybe that's how you feel about your own pain as well, like you want to be there for it, but you kind of reject it. And I feel like in terms of your relationships, you might be able to really guide and counsel people who are going through difficulties in relationships because you have been through some difficult relationships yourself. And also, you might really be able to guide and mentor people through their shadows specifically really, really well. And I do think that you are really good at cutting through to the truth of a situation. So say someone's dating someone that's toxic for them and they're making excuses, you could be the kind of person that's able to say what needs to be said in a way that it can be received and registered as well. But again, you have a fear about sharing this gift with other people, and I think you really acknowledge pain as part of the human experience, and I think that connects you with other people because you don't have to sugarcoat everything. Like, you understand that there's good and there's bad to life, and you can shine light to all of those different parts all the same. But again, you may be the kind of person who's around people who scare you or intimidate you, and you feel like because of your open crown chakra, it's your mission to fix them or save them and help them, all of that kind of stuff. So again, I feel like you're a light worker who is like on the field, like people in your community, for instance. They might be a bit scary to you in some ways when they talk about their pain or their trauma, but you're there for them. But again, just make sure that these people are also able to be there for you and allow you to ascend just like you're allowing them to ascend, or if not, that you're surrounding yourself with people who are here to ascend. Next up, we have the Mother of Swords. So this could talk about having a mother who is quite harsh or critical to you, or just in general maybe feeling, when I said sacred sister, I just see like you sitting in a circle with women and just loving on other women, which is so powerful. But it could come from a place where you didn't feel, I feel like your mom loved you through her words rather than through, typical things like maybe hugs or attention, or, it's more like she just directed you in the right place to go. Then she was like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What do you need right now? And so for that reason, you may have this feeling like you want to compensate by not thinking about, your future, or not thinking about your direction for your life, and instead you wish to just think about, the present moment and how you're feeling and how you can nurture yourself and how you can get through all of that, because you had to kind of mother yourself growing up in the motherly way. Do you know what I mean? But that may be residing in the shadow of your crown chakra, because I do feel like there is some crown chakra energy that's waiting to be tapped into, but you reject it because it reminds you, say, of your mother. So, especially when it comes to feeling like you needed a safe way to express your crown chakra, maybe you felt like she just didn't value your insights when it came to the crown chakra, and perhaps wasn't as cozy and friendly as you would have liked her to be. So now you're trying to be as cozy and friendly as you can, but at the same time you are providing people this feeling of being safe, and that's so, so beautiful. But it may come from this feeling that the world is one way, when that it may only be that way because you choose for it to be. So maybe you feel like life is so hard, everyone just needs a soft landing pad, when in reality, maybe what you would benefit from right now is that wisdom and guidance from, not from your mother, but some kind of like direction, some kind of structure, some kind of plan, some even maybe more divine masculine kind of energies. I feel like that could be something that you run away from. So hopefully this is resonating for you and how you feel in your life. I just saw 0707 as well on my camera, so if you're into angel numbers, then check out that angel number, because that may have another secret message for you as well. Next up, we have the Chariot. So I think this is talking about Cancer energy. This is talking about you making a plan and rushing towards the future rather than necessarily staying in and nurturing the present moment. So say you want to travel, making a plan for how you can travel and how you can expand and all of the people that you can connect with. This may also talk about opening up your network and your circle and your friends to other people from higher dimensions. Like, I think a lot of the people in your life are maybe at the same vibration or a low vibration to you, and so opening yourself up to higher vibrational people as well. They exist, who are willing to mentor and guide you. And the Chariot speaks about, yes, you've been through pain, yes, you've been through this difficult situation maybe with your mother, but at the same time they have all made you into who you are today. And I think this is guiding you to not be too stuck in the specific circumstances, and more think about how they've made you into who you are and what you can do with what you've been made into. Not trying to change anything, working with, not trying to begrudge anything, working honestly with what you got and realizing that your soul chose to incarnate onto this earth. You may feel very different from other people, and it's because you are. That's a gift, it's a blessing, not a curse, okay? And lastly, I was seeing that you may be really, really connected with, frequencies of pain, and see the pain in others and the vulnerability in others. And you may feel like, pain is a natural part of life and it's there to be nurtured. But with the Magician coming up, I'm sensing that it may be good to work out if there's any ways that you can transmute pain, okay? Turn pain from one thing into another thing. So say you felt a lot of pain about the way you were treated by your mother. Is there a way that you could turn that into compassion into all living souls who are similar to your mother? Because I don't want to go too much into this because I don't know specifically your situation, but I'm just getting the vibe that there may be emotions that, yes, you're connected to pain, yes, you're able to really nurture people going through difficult situations, but you may be too strongly identifying with this identity, and it may be more beneficial for you to start manifesting and creating new opportunities. So say you wish to feel happier, more at peace, you can manifest peace for the new moon. Everyone says, oh, you have to manifest money or like opportunities or da. You're completely within your right to manifest inner peace, and however that looks for you, and to trust that the universe can make that happen rather than staying in the present and the past. I feel like it's about moving to your future. So I'm going to pull one more card for you guys just for confirmation. Okay, I think you might really benefit from meditation as well, and thinking and making plans for your future, maybe working with a spiritual mentor, a spirit guide, but in general I think this is just about really taking your spiritual practice seriously in order to nurture the Magician, because you might be the kind of person who, I don't want to say that you're not working through trauma and different things like that, but you might be doing it in quite a soft way, when I think that when you use spiritual modalities to begin your healing journey, you will realize why when you manifest, sometimes it seems like you can attract bad situations or bad people, and it might be because there's these blocked energies that this spiritual healing or the spiritual teacher or these spiritual tools can help you to remove, so that you can see a bit more clearly and manifest even more clearly, and in that way you're able to create situations in life that make you feel happier and not as stuck, because I feel like you feel chained to some kind of misery, or chained to depression or anxiety or grief, and chained to lack. Not to say that that's your whole vibration, but there is a part of you that feels this way, and I feel like when you open up your crown chakra, you'll realize the infinite potential of the universe, because the crown chakra really talks about blissful unity with the universe and being in harmony with all things. We can't be in harmony of something that we're holding on to and that we're angry at, and that's burning a hole in our core. That doesn't seem like blissful harmony. So with the crown chakra, it's about coming into an internal equilibrium where everything in your life feels at balance, feels at one, and then allowing the universe around you to come to that same balance. Okay, and then you might leave your house and you're in balance, and then someone knocks you out of balance, and then you have a new thing to bring into balance within you, and you can allow your external world to also be brought into that same balance. Think about Indra's net. What we send into the universe is what can reach 1 million people, because if we make someone, one person feel good, they can make someone else feel good, and then that one other person can make 10 people feel good, and then those 10 people can make so many people feel good, and it's just a web and a net that keeps pushing. So don't forget that you are part of that that web, and by you aligning your internal vibration, you're able to positively impact people all over the world, and that is so important as well. And our crown chakra does represent where our brain meets the universe, so our physical bodies meet the infinite. And so when we're holding on to stories and the ego is telling us there's fear, there's anxiety, the world is tough, things are difficult, that's an ego-based story. The infinite soul marries that ego with the understanding that everything is infinite, everything is potential, everything can be changed, nothing is so fixed as we like to hold on to. And with the Cancer energy, I'm sensing that maybe Cancer or Taurus energy, you may be someone who likes to hold on to emotions or hold on to stories, and I think your crown chakra just wants you to be a bit more free. And I'm seeing that you could do this by something like freedom activities, like maybe aerial arts or pole dancing, or like ropes, or something where you're able to just move around with complete freedom. I think that kind of openness really works for you really well. And again, the crown chakra is to do with seeing the beauty in all things, and I do sense that your feeling of pain, your feeling of expecting others to be in pain and wanting to nurture them through their pain, could be denying you the opportunity to see the beauty in them, because you get a bit scared by their pain, and then maybe you're met with disgust and emotions like that. When in reality they're really beautiful, but maybe it's because you're focusing on the pain that they've gone through, which is like the worst things that have happened to them, and it's like most of their life they've not been in the pain that they're so focused on getting you to help them with. Most of their life they've been in different situations, maybe recovering from that pain, but they've been in a lot of beautiful experiences too. And I think it's I think your crown chakra journey is about being able to experience the beautiful side of people outside of their pain as well. Okay, let's go into anything else. You might also suffer from depression at times when your crown chakra is too open, because you're like, what's the point? Everything is meaningless. I just want to go back to my star family where everything is balanced and in equilibrium, and on this earth it's so difficult. And again, I think that by manifesting, you can begin to maybe ease your depression, because you can create that which you wish to see, and then you won't feel like you wish to be somewhere else, because you'll feel connected with your life rather than, you know, the facts that life is. Okay, are there any other messages? I feel like your relationship with your mother is so, or let's not say your mother, if there's any figures in your life who give direction or authority in quite a strict way, you might expect people to be mean, for instance. So it couldn't, instead of your mother, it could be like a teacher, or, you know, maybe some girls at school who were quite authoritative, you know, well respected and popular. They may have been quite mean and told you need to do this, and this, and still never accepted you anyway. So this could have sent you on an unusual quest for love, let's say, from who these people are, like what they represent. Maybe you desire strongly to get love from these people because they never gave it to you, and you're looking to close that chapter. But again, this could lead to you feeling disconnected from your spiritual side, because you don't want to be seeking out love, you know, intentionally or unintentionally. You want to know that you are love and that you're attracting love every single second. So it could also be causing physical illness, because I feel like you're holding on to a lot of emotions from the situation, and so it's causing physical illness in your body because you don't feel at ease and at harmony. Again, harmony is the natural state of the crown chakra. So when we feel disharmonious, that is a block in our crown chakra. So it might be good to use crystals such as clear quartz or selenite, and in general to just let go of emotional baggage. If there's something and it's causing you emotional distress, and it's been doing that for more than a week, it doesn't actually need to be in your vibrational field. Unless it's like life or death, maybe you can let go of it. Maybe you're choosing to hold on to it because it feels familiar to resolve those kinds of problems, but it might actually be more beneficial for where you are right now to do some yoga, do some moving around, spend time outdoors, do some meditation, and just let go of this baggage and surrender to the future and get excited for what is to come, rather than holding on to your past stories. And maybe to make a directional plan for your future and think about how you can begin to move towards your future today. Okay, love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Bye! Hey there guys, if you chose pile number 3, I'm so excited to connect with you in this reading. Oh my gosh, we're going to be diving all the way into your crown chakra tarot messages, and I'm getting like light beams of energy for you guys. My camera's all of a sudden giving me messages saying it's too hot as well, which makes me feel like you guys might have a lot of energy running through your crown chakra. Okay, yeah, you guys are really definitely connected to your crown chakra and grounded in your crown chakra as well. I don't think you struggle to interpret the messages from your crown chakra, and sometimes you may feel like you need to turn the messages off because the downloads come through so strongly for you. So the card that we have is Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So I think that, oh my god, this is so cute. So your crown chakra is either massively benefiting from you aligning with your soul family, or would benefit from you doing it even more. So you might feel like there's certain people in your life who are in your soul family and they have changed you and helped you in such magical ways, and this soul family may really help you to achieve your soul mission and to see yourself reflected in another as well, which is so powerful. Okay, also I'm getting the images of shrimp. I have no idea why. Like, okay, so shrimp are in the sea, they're floating around in the sea. If you were to take the percentage of shrimp, the percentage of the sea that's shrimp is probably quite small. So what I'm saying is you might come from quite a rare and distant galaxy or something, where you're quite a rare type of soul, but there's a specific group of you in your soul family who have I'm sensing so much power, decided to incarnate together at the same time so that you can make the transitions and the changes in the world that need to happen, and that you are connected to each other almost by an electrical signal telepathically throughout your brain. You don't realize this, but you're connected to these individuals like a network, and when one of you guys needs help, you all send energy to that person and you don't even realize that you're doing this. So that's really beautiful. I'm sensing that there's a lot of like heavy codes in the messages between you and your soul family, and you have a very, very powerful soul family here on earth. Guys, I'm getting emotional. Okay, you guys also might feel a bit average, like there's nothing special about you, and I think that's because deep down you recognize that there are so many beautiful humans on the world, but that could lead to feelings of insecurity as well within you. So that's just one thing to talk about. So going into your message, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords. So I was saying that you guys really do get good downloads and messages, but they could be confusing sometimes, because you get a download and it's like, okay, I'll do that, and then something else presents itself to you and you're like, okay, well, what does that download mean? But you may be very good, very sharp, and very good at getting ideas. Oh, so you definitely don't feel like you fit into society. You feel like an outsider, like maybe you feel like organizations are against you, groups of people are not your friend in general. That's how you feel. Then we have the Queen of Swords here. Okay, so maybe it's just more important for you to be more directional with your thoughts and your mind. And we have the Nine of Swords. So again, you need to work through some difficult feelings and close these emotions down, because they are making you feel blindsided, making you feel like you don't know what's going on with the Eight of Swords. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We have the Two of Swords. So you connect with your crown chakra and use it to make decisions. You may also help other people to make decisions using your crown chakra. You may be the kind of person that spends a lot of time deliberating, but once you've made that decision, you've made it, and it's there. It's very stuck in place and firm in place. So that's how you connect with your crown chakra. And when it comes to things like gratitude, you may be very black and white. Either I have everything or I have nothing. In terms of bliss, it might be everything's okay or everything's shit, everything's awful. There may not be an in-between with you. And I think that's because you're so connected with the crown chakra that it can be difficult for you to connect with your ego. And then when you connect so much with your ego, it can be difficult to connect with your crown chakra. So I would say that your crown may be tangled in with your heart for that reason, but I'm not sensing any major chakra significance. I think your heart chakra and your crown chakra are tied in, so definitely do check out the heart chakra tarot reading on my YouTube channel if you're wanting to find out more about that. So for instance, you may feel like you just want to give love infinitely to everyone and feel like it's starseed, and then once you've given love, you might feel like people don't really value that or appreciate it or take you for granted or it's not worthy, and then you I'm gonna say dismember, fucking hell. Isn't that when you chop a willy off? Well, maybe you guys are quite harsh with it then, because there are 2 swords here. There's actually a lot of swords in here. Oh my goodness, why are there so many swords? I'm sensing with this sword imagery almost like a vibe of you fighting a war. You fighting in an army. You being like a warrior. And I think your crown chakra is your weapon. You allow that to play the part for you. Who are you fighting? I'm not really sure. I think the system. Establishments, depression, things like that. Things that are just systems that don't work. I don't know why depression came into a system that doesn't work. Maybe even belief systems that don't work. With all of these swords as well. It's really sad because the only sword that isn't here is this guy with this broken leg. So I feel like you can be heavily in your mental energy. You have an overactive crown chakra, I would diagnose you guys as saying. The only power of the 3 who has an overactive crown chakra. You're not very connected with your body. This character has a broken leg, they're so cold, and that's the only thing that's not a sword. So you feel like your crown chakra, maybe your intelligence, maybe your mind, maybe your spirit guides. That's your power. When it comes to your physical body, maybe your looks, your physical needs, your material needs, I don't think you feel like you can automatically meet those. I feel like you will struggle with those. You're very in your head. And you might ignore a lot of warning signs as well, like physical warning signs, because of this crown chakra energy. It's like when we go left, we go left. When we go right, we go right. But you might need to go left than right, and you're like, no, I'm just going left. And it's because you're so connected with the 5D and the fact that if it will be, it will be, If you were gonna marry someone and you knew you were gonna marry them, you wouldn't be breaking up with them if they did something wrong, because you know you're going to marry them. Okay, we're going to work this out. And so you could have that attitude until it turns out that they, cheat on you with your sister, and then you're like, actually, fuck them. We're not getting married anymore. Do you know what I mean? So having really blind faith and optimism because of the messages you receive from your crown chakra about the potential of how things could be, which maybe even lead you to, because, okay, let's say you were the kind of person who's not going to tell your partner something's wrong until they cheat on you with your sister. I can see that poses a lot of issues in the relationship, because you think that you're so united and, everything is unity and bliss. Maybe if you were telling them, I don't like it when you flirt with my sister, you would have avoided this, but you're not thinking that they're flirting with your sister because you're thinking, oh, we're going to get married. So you're not seeing reality for what it is, you're seeing it in the 5D. Maybe in the 5D, you get back together and everything works out, but you don't want to be in situations where you're getting into tangles because you're looking so far into the 5D and so little into the embodied version of the present moment. Okay. And I'm seeing a lot of imagery about that story about the cave, Plato's cave, where he suggests that reality isn't what you see in front of you. Reality is, have a look into Plato's cave. He basically talks about shining a light into a cave and people moving around, and you can't see where the light's coming from, and you can't see the people, you can only see the shadows in the cave, so it seems like something foreign and alien. You know, you're like, oh my god, these patterns are so wild and I don't understand them. But in reality, it's because we can't see the behind the scenes. So even when you're tapping into the 5D, you're not seeing the movement of the people. So maybe it's good to remember that you're not seeing the full story, you're not seeing their whole life up until the point that they met you. You know, you might be saying, oh yeah, I've been told that that shadow that's on the left side of the room is going to be on the right side of the room. But you don't know the journey that the people are going to make for the shadow to go from the left to the right. And so you should be really, if you can, trying to look into what the people are doing, rather than into what the shadow is doing. And the shadow can represent energy, or like situations that are happening. Maybe you can you know, glorify people as well and just see them as this really pure soul, and then detach from that and see them as evil. So I know that that's to do with splitting. That's a trauma response, also as a crown chakra response. And it's, let me turn off my washing machine. With the Ace of Swords, I'm sensing that you have a lot of really novel ideas. I'm almost seeing what is the planet? Uranus energy, Aquarius energy, rebellious energy, rule breaking energy. You're very good at starting new ideas, new projects, and being very novel and very unique in yourself and your ideas. I think also that your crown chakra can see solutions for everyone. So you might be the kind of person, they have a big vision and you can immediately say yes or no to the vision. You can see that, and you can see the 5D timeline that's going to unfold for them, but you can only see the first stages for them. You can't see the whole picture. And so you are in a powerful place because of this, because you're able to see, you know, say if they were to start a business, you can tell them how they can start that business, because you can see the bigger picture. But maybe you're not so suited to guide them along the whole process. Like, I'm seeing that you might be the person that opens the door for them, you open the portal for them, you open the window for them, and that is so powerful. The 5 of Pentacles though, one downside of your crown chakra, yeah, you open the portal for them because you're in the 5D. You see what they can't see, and so you can guide them from one place to another. You are a very compassionate and sensitive soul, very gentle, explorative mind, and I really do feel like you have a really cherishable just a cherishable vibe. I think there's a lot of peace that you bring to a lot of people's lives as well. So with the 5 of Pentacles, you may be feeling like people don't understand you, people aren't going to take care of you, people won't provide for you. Even when they do, you just feel like they will let you down. And you may not trust people, you may feel hard done by, you may feel just like an outcast, like you're blacked out into like of society. And I'm like, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel this way? Let me pull another card. Oh my god. So if I go up, you can see that both cards here, that's the 8 of Winter there, and that's also the 8 of Winter there. So you just don't believe in yourself. You have been put in this prison by society, so I'm seeing that you serve some kind of punishment in your life. So this could be like a prison thing, or being locked away, or being in a rehabilitation center, or being maybe you were in detention, or for some of you guys this could be just spending years working at a job that really dulled your spirit, but you spent 15 years in this job, for instance. So you spent a lot of time in this place, And for that reason, you just don't feel like you can step out of that. You don't feel like there's space for you in the world. You feel like those people that locked you up, whoever they are still out there searching for you. Or maybe even now you feel like you're living the impact of their words or their actions. And you just, like, these two characters here are good friends. So maybe you find support systems around you, networks of people who feel similarly about the world to you, feel like they're outcasted too, that they're struggling too, but you feel like you don't connect with being human. You may actually be an alien, so maybe that's why you don't connect with being human, but it's distracting from your soul, because we are all living things. And when you look at, it's like, okay, so we're starseeds, right? That's what we call ourselves. If we were to look at a bunch of otters, there's a bunch of otters. One of those otters could be a starseed otter, okay? And their job is to lift the vibration of the otter collective. We would look at that otter and still say, you are an otter. We wouldn't say, oh my god, this miraculous starseed otter. Because maybe in their community, they're slightly more advanced in their consciousness, so they're able to lead and guide the other otters. But we'd say, oh yeah, that's just the lead otter. We wouldn't say, oh my gosh, she's from Arcturus, the planet da-da-da-da-da. Maybe they are. But what we would say is they're able to lead these otters. And so when we're connecting with ourselves as light workers, obviously we're humans, not otters, I think you feel so different from all the other otters. So you're meant to be a leader, a guide to these otters, but instead you're like, all of those other otters, they're dumb, they don't understand, I have to separate myself from them. And it's like, no, actually you're meant to lead them. That's why you have different lifestyle from them. That's why you've been through different experiences, different capabilities, and you can open these portals for them, because you're meant to lead them and be a guide to them. But you need to really work with your mentalities. And you spend too much time in your own head as well. That is too much time in your crown and too much time in your head. You may benefit from putting more energy into your sacral chakra and just living life, just flowing, painting, having fun, playing, being silly, all of those things, and remembering that you're human. Doing things every day to remind yourself that you're human as well. Because it may be difficult for you to remember that. Even the people that you may be guiding at the moment, like, you're meant to be a great guide. I do feel that for you. You're meant to be like that otter, leading them across the ocean or wherever it is. But you think that you're so separate and so different that you can't lead them. And so maybe it would be really good for you to think about people in your life that you felt put you in prison. They made you feel disconnected from others. If you could guide them, be non-judgmental when you do this as well if you can. If you could guide them, what would you say to them? What would you do to them? Because that is likely part of your mission here on earth, to guide those people who actually put you away, so that they don't do that anymore to other people. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not the only person that's been through this struggle. You think you're so different and da-da-da-da-da. No, other people have been through this too. You're human. And we have a responsibility as light workers that when we go through that, we can help make changes so that it doesn't happen to everyone. But we have to stop seeing ourselves as different from other people. We have to start opening our crown chakra and having love for those people who imprisoned us, having love for those people who rejected us even. I don't think rejection is your wound. I mean, yeah, with the Five of Pentacles it is, because you feel separate from society because of this, maybe it was like a detention type thing, or a detention facility. It makes you feel very separate from other people. But I think for you, it's about, they took away that feeling of unity from you. You couldn't feel united because you were treated as separate, and you have this grudge on your shoulders. I'm so different, I'm so separate, I don't fit in. No, it's because these abusive motherfuckers took away your human. They took away your normal. They shouldn't have been able to do that. They dehumanized you. That's why you don't feel human. Okay? And so I'm just going to say some light language now to really ground into your feeling of acceptance in the ways that those people may have fragmented you. Amaro sanka uzakaro shingom taka storon sakando pershingo toka shinka osaka the somebody keta oh tawin tawshin barosikia dorjin got tawin tawsin baroshinko darun shako sankawin sakaro shako kosindaw ndawin shikindaw thousand and moment shanka ritsa kasa almost of Russian dog the akara the constellate. This energy does not want to move down your body. It wants to stay in your fucking crown chakra. Amaro secondare cacho corantaka. Because it doesn't feel safe in the world. It wants to go straight to your heart chakra and just give love. That's the next natural response. Okay, you guys are not from this planet. Your next natural response is to go to your heart chakra. And I think I mentioned in this reading, your heart chakra and your crown are connected. So check out the heart chakra reading on my channel for more healing. This energy wants to go to your heart chakra from your crown. It doesn't want to go through the third eye or the throat. It doesn't want to transmit this high level knowledge about the universe into insights that can help you, because you're scared of what you might see if you use your eyes properly, because you tend to dissociate and to see things as black or white, and that space of nuance, it really scares you. It feels like fear. You want to be safe or not safe, because then you know where you stand. So baby, I'm gonna have to bring this energy through all of your chakras. I thought this would be a really fast light language, but I think there's a lot to go through. So and once you connect with your vision and you can see people as both good and bad, then you will connect more with your life purpose. So maybe it will be good for you to take 3 people who have done you awfully in your life and write down 10 good things about them and 5 bad things about them, let's say, because they did do you bad. Let's acknowledge that. But let's just write down 10 good things about them too. Do that 3 times for 3 people, and that will help energy move from your crown to your third eye. Because you're rejected, you feel like people don't want to hear what you have to say. You were cast out, and so you feel like people don't want to hear what you have to say. You were in a place when this happened. When you were cast out, rejected, you were in one place. In that one place, you were there for ages, it rejected you. I want to talk about CPTSD, because that is trauma that comes from years and years of abuse. If you go through that, you can go through that at school. If you were bullied for years, or if your teachers were mean to you for years, or if you're working a job for years where your boss really treated you badly, you could actually develop CPTSD from that. Okay? And so that effect of that treatment can last with you. I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people don't realize the severity of trauma, because we just have to go through it. So with your throat chakra, you're not seeing yourself, like I was saying, you were in one building, let's say. Maybe you were in your house, maybe you were in a school, maybe you were in a detention facility. But whilst you were going through that, there were people in the world who were doing exactly what you were doing and being rewarded for that. Maybe if you were laughed at, they were being celebrated. Maybe if you were told off, they were being given rewards for it. Think about where that could have been. So say if you were restless as a kid, always running around, maybe there was an athlete, when they ran around, they were treated for it. And that's because they grew up in a family that encouraged them to be an athlete, say, and put their energy somewhere. What I'm trying to say is that I think you have this perspective that I am flawed because I chose to be born into this specific system that didn't accept me. When in reality, you could have been chosen to be born into an athlete family, or when you had loads of energy, they just put you on the track and then you became an Olympian. But that wasn't your path, I don't think, guys. I think your path was to be put somewhere where you went through these trials and tribulations for some reason. You didn't want to have an easy life. Maybe you had some past life karma, good karma, bad karma. I don't know, you guys. But you wanted to be somewhere where you weren't accepted. So when I'm saying with your throat chakra, you don't feel like others want to hear what you have to say, it's because you weren't at the track. If you were at the track, they would have wanted to hear what you had to say, but you weren't. You were maybe in the classroom where they didn't want your your energy. And so for that reason, you've grown up with this belief that no one wants my energy. And it's like, no, that specific building that you were in was not a match to wanting your energy. No, it wasn't. And you were there for many years, and so CPTSD built in. And that's tragic to me, and I'm so sorry about that. Honestly, I am, but I just want you to realize that it doesn't mean the whole world is like that. And you chose to be born into a life like that. Okay? So moving from the throat down to the heart, now that you finally feel like people want to hear what you say, maybe you can give love better. Maybe you feel like you immediately just want to give all of your love to people because you don't feel like they actually fucking value what you have to say. They don't value you. And so moving that energy to your heart, receive the feeling of being valued for your own authentic voice, your own authentic truth. Naturally being accepted just because of who you are. Not having to try or push hard. And I'm getting emotional channeling, you guys, because I feel like this is a big block for you. That's why I'm doing a lot of light language. If you're wanting to work with me more personally, to work through these issues, please do send me a message on Instagram, because I would love to talk about your journey in general and where you've been and where you're going to. So focusing in on your heart chakra and the feeling of being valued because of the fact that you're athletic and you're in a stadium. You're no longer in a cage, you're in a stadium now. So yes, you have all that energy in you, and it may feel like no one wants me to run. Imagine if you were at a fucking stadium and they were like, go run your race, and you were crying like, no one wants me to run, I'm such a bad person for running. They'd be like, what? Why are you here? Why are you here at the racetrack? And obviously you're identifying maybe a bit later than someone who would have been brought up an athlete that your life path journey is to run races. That's good, but you're crying at the racetrack. It's time to run at the racetrack. And you can do that when you actually realize you're valuable, because you're where people want you to be. You're where you're valued. You weren't where you were valued back then. Okay, I've spoken a lot. Heart chakra. Omaro sikao takin sawishin bato. Iska o zakorshindo sindoroshindo. Aura songo tombo shakrondo ongo. Ooh. Oh. I feel like there's a reason you guys are overcompensating too. When you feel like no one wants to hear your voice, like you just have to keep on giving love. Ooh, there's a lot of pain frequencies here, you guys. I would say, after this, maybe do like a heart soothing meditation, just to let all of this sink in. I haven't found the reason why you feel like you have to give love so excessively, but I know there's a lot of deep pain in your heart chakra, so it overcompensates to forget about the pain, like this Two of Swords here. Because it mirrors something. It mirrors an original wound in your soul. This feeling of being rejected, being outcast, not being enough, it mirrors something big for you guys. And I think you guys should really journal about this experience too, because this is your life path here. You were born to be an athlete. So if you don't want to be running, if you don't want to be, crying on the racetrack, you need to really journal about why you're crying and then get through that so that you can start running. Make sense? And it can be difficult for you to find closure because this is a very deep wound, such as, abandonment from a parent or something like that. Or I'm hearing for some of you like a disease that could have affected your family very significantly and for some reason has affected you today. Maybe it's your job to teach people how to be confident when racing. If that resonates, let it resonate. Because now you're racing and you're crying about it. So maybe in the future you're going to be teaching people how to get to a place where they have been told they can't race. And then when they finally start racing, allowing them to not cry at the racetrack. Because you learn how to get rid of that pain. I feel like you guys are one of the original light workers. You chose very specific struggle points because you're going to be helping people massively in very specific ways. Ancestral wounds, guys. You guys, this goes very deep because there's a wasp that just tried to attack my camera and I was just hearing like white and Anglo-Saxon Protestant, is that it? And I was like, what? And I was like, oh fuck. So maybe this is like something like slavery that your ancestors went through, or the crown chakra is really related to our culture and our heritage, but also to the people that came before us, our ancestors. So maybe your ancestors feel this way. And that's why I felt like with your throat chakra, I could kind of do the light language there, but with the heart chakra, there was a lot of blocks there, you guys. A lot of blocks there because of the fact this isn't just you, this is ancestral here. This is karmic because of what your ancestors went through. So maybe your ancestors were left out in the cold. Maybe your ancestors had been pillaged or been, I was getting this vibe of you being isolated away from other people. Maybe you were taken away from your community and told that you couldn't be there anymore. Maybe there was some kind of war or some kind of crisis where you had to flee from your home. I just sense that there's some very deep survival wounds that have, the root chakra is connected with the crown chakra because of the fact that they're on the opposite sides of the body. And so when our root chakra gets really out of whack, so our survival gets heavily threatened, we see the world in a different way. Okay? And that's why you're crying at the racetrack, because maybe before you weren't even allowed to fucking go to the racetrack. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing, and we choose who we incarnate as. But we can forget what our ancestors have been through. When we go into a space, our ancestors may be inside of us terrified because they never got that kind of opportunity, and when they did, they were punished heavily and severely. If you guys aren't in communication with your ancestors, it could be good to connect with their pain and their suffering, because with the Nine of Swords, I'm seeing that will really help you to balance your crown chakra. And with the 9 of swords being and the ace of swords, I mean that equals the 10, and that seeks that completion. So it may be the fact that you can see opportunities very well, you can spot them brilliantly, but you don't feel like you can make the opportunities work in the way that you want them to. And there may be a lot of limiting beliefs and slowed down progress that's happened generationally. Okay, and so because of you, the generations in the future will not have to feel this way. But it's about you going through each situation, each fear, each worry, each way that you had been hurt or knocked down, going through each one vibrationally and finding closure with that. So what I'm saying is, you might be at the racetrack with a broken leg and knocked out teeth and all of these different things, and you might be like, okay, I have to run my race. Well, firstly, you need to go to the doctor and sort out your leg. Secondly, you need to figure out why your teeth are knocked out. Thirdly, you need to stop crying. Once you've stopped crying, you need to get into your race position. Once you've got into your race position, you may realize you don't have shoes. You need to get some shoes. What I'm saying is, a lot of people, if they were born into the right environment, they would have been at that racetrack when they were 4, with their shoes, with their legs, with their teeth, with their everything. But because of this experience, you were having to do that now, a bit later on. Not to say that you're behind, because no one wants a 3-year-old athlete. It's like, what are they going to do? Maybe when you're 20 or 30, then you're an athlete and you can run. And you've been training for this race for lifetimes now. And I think that's the reason you're so upset. Because you feel like you've been training for the race, but it was like every obstacle was against you actually winning the race. And like, how much would that suck? But at the same time, this is your race to win. And I feel, let me just send some fucking Reiki, because I'm not going to be going down to the solar plexus and the sacral, because I think you have good solar plexus. Your sacral may need some love. Your root chakra, maybe you found a firm foundation after having struggled earlier in life, but there are still a lot of blocks in your root chakra. If I could, I'd be here all day healing your chakras, but I think we should just send some Reiki to this race that you're running, and allow for yourself to align to be able to run this race. And if you're wanting to heal even more deeply, just message me. My Instagram is by constellate. I would love to do some light language or some Reiki for you. I also have a website, constellate.info, where you can book in to meet up with me on Zoom as well. Okay, so I'll first begin by turning on some Reiki energy and just letting that flow through your race, your metaphorical race. Amerika oshkrausingit auzikrajing aumentaka izikrajinga undarajinga ozikita totojinga takorajinga tapushika. And it's not just because of the fact that you're going to win the race. You need to start running laps to prepare. And to do that, you need to work through each of your traumas, each of your limiting beliefs, each of the ancestors, each of the beliefs that your ancestors were forced to embody that you no longer want to. Okay. Insarka usakushinta oshinkotongit auzikita uzing ongarajinga auzikijikatozinga onjakrauzinga tsokondorom komprojitozinga ujukatozaka umbrozika tozika utsokundok. If you can bring your left hand and your right hand together, that would be amazing as well. Grausik otoshin grausik itoshin tau ndakrojikatozing tijikatozika otombrasika Razaka Ndawazaka Jigruzinka Indaroshinka Uziki Indaroshinka Umbaroshinka Utsakonanda Jingarazunda Umbarosika Uzikarosinka Umbrosiki Ishukarozunko Umbrosika Undaka Shikarosunka Ungaroshinka Uzakaroshinka Umbrosika Undaka Unda. Okay, so you feel very comfortable in your subconscious energies, but your conscious energies you don't feel comfortable in. You don't feel like you can consciously make your dreams. You subconsciously think that you can, not consciously. So we have to reverse that. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of soreness here. I think your right side of your energy body feels a lot weaker than your left side sometimes, or let's say your masculine feels less strong than your feminine. Balkoto sundoshikiti itozika ondoroshika indawika asiki dokshkuto umforoshindo sikaweta reshikawa zikirondoshin boroshu. It's almost like you said, who says the race has to be, done that way, so you do it backwards. You're like, who says the race has to be started at the started line? I'm going to start at the finish line and go to the start line. And it's like, I think you need to start at the start line. I think you do. Or maybe start a new race in the center line and make it shorter, but be okay with that being a shorter race. But it's that I think there's this resistance, this deep resistance from you starting from the beginning and going. And again, that's your lower chakras. You want the end result. You want the end result, but not necessarily the lower chakras. You don't want the journey to there. And what is that journey? There's a lot of resistance. It's your beliefs. You have a lot of limiting beliefs about your success, and so you want to sidestep those. You want to pretend, oh, my beliefs are fine, I can achieve the success. And in reality, it's like many people who've achieved the success you want to achieve have not been beat down by life. They haven't. They've not gone through trauma. They've not gone through stress. Some people have, and it's because they've had to work through those beliefs. Okay, and you're going to be one of those people that works through those beliefs and helps others to do that as well. Whether they're the same race as you, different race, you're going to be able to help all people to run their race. You feel like it's before your time, like you have to have done something before you can unconditionally love and accept yourself. You feel like you have to have done something or achieved something before you can feel at harmony and at union with yourself. So for instance, say you want to start a business, okay? You want to have $1 million business. The first stage is believing, I have good enough ideas so that I can go to an investor. Maybe it's not the first stage, but say in this example it is. But you don't believe that any investor wants to talk to you. Then the next stage is, okay, I open a shop. You're like, if I open a shop, the whole thing will go to ruin. And it's like, okay, now you have to hire a staff. And you think, oh my gosh, people never want to work with me. And it's because you've not worked through a lot of your limiting beliefs in life. And so let me just say some more light language to try and tap into those limiting beliefs and how you can begin to manage them. So you've got this black and white thinking, this borderline tendency on the borderline of one to another. Flip. Okay. So for that reason, you may be really positive in your general life, and then you might notice that when you journal or you talk about your feelings, you're super negative, and you're like, where the fuck did it come from? Like, where's the middle? And that's because that's your subconscious that really feels that way. You just try to blanket over your subconscious by saying enough, positive things, but the truth is your subconscious is 95%. So your subconscious is telling you can't win that race, you can't win that race. So you need to spend some time journaling about your feelings and understanding yourself a bit better from your own perspective. Talking with your ancestors, and maybe not even with them, but looking at your family history, the patterns your family has gone into, the wounds in your family, the wounds that your ancestors may have faced, the patterns that keep repeating themselves in your family, patterns, things that were traumatic in your life. I want you to make a list of your 5 most traumatic experiences, and then spend a page talking about each one of them. And you could do that once a week. I think that would actually be very beneficial for you, not to clear the limiting beliefs, because I don't think we have time for that in this reading, because this is meant to be a 5-minute reading, you guys. But when I felt that heart chakra energy, whew, I had to go in there with some light language. But anyway, spend a page writing about each of these stressful, awful situations and what they mean to you and how they affect you. And I think in time you'll notice your energy becomes lighter, and you might start to have more belief in yourself, because you start to realize where the origins of some of your negative beliefs are coming from, that they're not yours. They're not yours. Of course they're yours because you have them, but you're an athlete. Why the fuck do you believe that you can't run a race? Or if you run the race, you think you have to do it your way. You can play by the rules and be successful. You think that the rules are against you and that you can't play against the rules. You feel blacklisted and blocked out. I just hate how this world is sometimes, and that amazing people like you have to go through this. But I'm proud of you, and I know that your soul is more powerful than any of these systems. And I really do see that you are designing a new kind of race for a new kind of people, and that is really, really powerful as well. So bless you, bless your journey, and bless this light language that my guides were able to help me to channel as well. And I love you so much. Definitely DM me on Instagram if this resonated with you, this message, as I would love to connect further. Okay, I love you so much. Bye.